What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, the wind in Cape Town is crazy, so I'm not going to spend too much time. That's why you see I haven't been blogging or vlogging outside lately because it's been blowing since December and just crazy. People, in today's video, we want to talk about the unfortunate killing of Imam Hendricks. Man, that is a sad case, but yeah. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, hate speech is always welcome, right? People, today's topic is a very sad topic because it involves murder. It involves killing, and it involves a loss of life. And the sad thing about it is that it happened far away from home for the victim. And it's just sad, right? It's just a sad thing. I mean, you don't wish death upon anybody, no matter how badly you hate anybody or how wrong the person has done, but no one really wishes death upon a person. Like, it's like the ultimate, you're just paying like the ultimate price, right? So let's get into this unfortunate, sad tragedy, right? So, number one, Imam Hendricks was a Muslim man, an openly gay Muslim. And according to reports, Imam Hendricks was not gay. He became gay. Or maybe he was gay, possibly a long time ago, but due to societal pressures, he had to play up to those pressures. So then he got married, had 2 children, and then I think subsequently um, decided to follow his heart, I guess, or his true emotions, and then decided to come out of the closet and to proclaim his being gay. Now, as a man, I do not have a problem with another man being gay. You can choose whatever you identify as, and it's your right, it's your choice. I mean, we live in a free society, in a free world, and I've absolutely no problem with what Imam Hendricks decided to do with his life in the path he chose to walk down his life. Is being gay a sin? In my eyes, in the eyes of many people, yes, being gay is a sin. Is being gay in the Muslim religion permitted? The Quran clearly condemns same-sex marriages and people identifying as the other sex, right? The Bible clearly also, if I'm not mistaken, condemns homosexuality. For some strange reason, the Christian Bible has been adapted so many times to accommodate homosexuality. There's even the sad thing, the real sad thing, to be honest, when it comes to the Christian faith. Some churches now proudly fly the rainbow flag. Now, people, I don't know if it's God. I don't know if it's the angels, or, to be honest, is it the people who own the means of production when it comes to printing of these Bibles and stuff, right? That decide to manipulate, adaptation, right? Edit, change, manipulate the wordings in the Bible. Now, when you see a church proudly flying the rainbow flags, and yet in the book, holy book, it clearly condemns homosexuality. Now, I don't know. We saw at the last World Cup in Qatar, Qatar, how they say Qatar, the Qataris, they refused, they totally put a ban on any suggestive regalia, public waving of rainbow flags, any public affection by homosexual people, not accepted in Islam, not accepted in Muslim culture, not accepted in Muslim religion, not accepted in the Middle East, not accepted wherever you think you want to bring your homosexuality to, right? Not accepted. Okay, so being Muslim and being gay, it can never be. The Quran clearly states that homosexuality is not condoned in the Muslim or in the Islamic faith. Now, being liberal doesn't mean that you can do as you please. If you choose to live in a country, you also automatically choose to abide by that country's laws. Now, let's drift off just for a second, right? Influence is a very big thing in the world right now. Monkey see, monkey do. People see Israel, let's be specific. People see the Zionist government of Israel breaking every international law possible, and nothing happens to them. The Afrikaner people in South Africa, they see what the Zionists do, and then they apply that same ideology in South Africa by breaking almost any possible law that they can possibly think of, for as long as it suits their narrative. The government signs this into law, they fight about it. The government decides they want to do this, they fight about it. South Africa has a new national anthem, they'll sing the old national anthem. South Africa has a new flag, they bring out their old flag. Why? Influence, right? They see the Israelis doing it, they can do it too. So, I'm just giving context, right? Influence. And I'm not saying that the Imam did this according to being influenced, but obviously he had his own reasons for doing it, right? The Imam chose to be Muslim. Now I'm using the word chose because when the Imam was young, I don't think he had a choice because he was born, I'm thinking he was born into a Muslim family, right? Born into a Muslim family, or he may have converted, but either one of the two, right? By the time he was a grown man, or at least an adult of sound mind and understanding, knowing right from wrong, the Imam clearly chose to be Muslim, knowing that homosexuality is condemned in Islam. Okay, so was the Imam trying to break rank, pushing boundaries, trying to push the envelope? Was the Imam trying to be the first to innovate something? Was the Imam trying to be wanting to be an activist, a revolutionary in this regard? We would never know, right? Okay. So Imam Hendricks did a very noble thing, right? We cannot we cannot disregard or discard the activism, the works that he did, the inclusivity that he wanted, the the open mosque that he actually built and ran. We cannot discount that, right? The concept, the idea of just including everyone, no matter from what walks of life these people come from, he wanted them all to come together, which is a grand and noble idea, right? Now, let's see and let's look at the areas where the Imam went wrong on this, and where I think that's where the Imam would go rogue, so to speak, right? People, in countries where the Sharia law is applied, those that are not familiar with Sharia law, you know that it's Islamic law. There's virtually almost no crime because Sharia law is harsh, right? Luckily for the late Imam, South Africa does not operate or use the Sharia law in any regard, right? So the Imam was free to practice what he thought or what he felt in his personal capacity was the right thing to do, as he deemed as he deemed fit in his personal capacity as a Muslim. Okay. So did the Imam represent all Muslims or did he represent the Muslim faith? No. Why am I saying that? Because the Imam knew from the beginning that homosexuality was condemned in the Quran. And yet the Imam felt that it was an injustice to the way he felt and to maybe the way other people like him felt. But my question comes to, if Imam Hendricks wanted to be openly homosexual, openly gay, Imam could have left the faith. He could have left Islam and he could have openly just decided to open his own denomination, like the ones like almost like you see these charismatic churches that these Nigerians and Congolese open. He could have done something like that without attaching himself to the Muslim faith, because the Islamic faith and the Muslim does not condone this, right? Now, his actions, his intentions, his willingness, and his overall view of what he wanted was very noble. That we have to commend. So we cannot say the Imam was anti this, anti that, because he was almost pro everything. That concept is beautiful. Inclusivity, you take anyone and everyone, anything and everything. The Imam even went as far as opening a mosque, which is known as the Open Mosque in Weinberg, which allowed anyone, it didn't discriminate. You could have been Christian, you could be gay, a prostitute, drug dealer, you could be anything, a gangster, you can come in there and pray. To me, I think the idea, the concept, just that alone, brilliant, nice, smooth. Not many churches even do that, right? Because as soon some churches, as soon as they just know that you're a prostitute, they shun, and they shun you. What's the word? Yeah, they shun you. You just, man, it's like you just filthy. So they treat you like that. But the Imam was not like that. Okay, so What did the Imam do wrong? Okay. Number one, the Imam chose to do his noble work in the framework of Islam, which Islam does not permit. Now, the Imam could have went and disassociated himself or left Islam, left the faith, and went to and open a brand new, let me call it a house of faith that he deemed worthy of his causes, without including Islam in it, because Islam does not want to associate with homosexuality. So, was this the Imam's way of trying to, would I say, manipulate, to adapt, change? Was the Imam liberal? Was the Imam trying to be open? Was the Imam trying to lower the the standards of Islam? Was the Imam trying to be defiant? Was the Imam trying to chart a new path? Was the Imam trying to be a revolutionary or a visionary by being the first openly gay Imam? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's hard to articulate in words, right? How one can agree to work in a company, follow company laws, you sign a contract saying you're going to abide by these laws, and then when you get into that company, you now realize that no, it's not the way that you thought it would be, and it's not the way it should be according to you. So then you start to change the rules and regulations of that company. It doesn't work that way. So, like I said, the Imam could have disassociated himself with Islam altogether. The Imam could have left the faith. The Imam could have simply decided to chart his own path, create a new religion, almost like a subsect of Islam teachings mixed with Judaism teachings, teachings, with Christianity teachings, with Hinduism. Just give an example. You know what I mean? The Imam didn't have to carry Islam over with him as he went along, even like, because now, as much as the idea was grand, the idea was good, but many Muslims really shunned and looked down, they frowned upon that idea. Although some are warming up, to be honest, some are really warming up to that idea of having an open mosque where you go and, that's what I'm saying. The idea is noble. The idea is it's a groundbreaking idea, to be honest. You know what I mean? But in the concept, in the concept of homosexuality, that is the sticking point. Because had the Imam not been gay, had the Imam not openly advocated for homosexuality, right? Now, let's be take it like this. Imagine the Imam was a straight Muslim man, right? He goes and he opens his open mosque as a straight Muslim man, right? But then he says, in my open mosque, anybody can come. Doesn't matter if you're Christian, Jew, Buddhist, doesn't matter. Prostitute, drug dealer, gangster, it doesn't matter. Murderer, all are welcome. But it's a straight Muslim man. I don't think anyone would have had a problem with that. I don't think so. Number two, I think the influence that the Imam was beginning to have, I think that was another sticking point because the Imam living in Cape Town went all the way to Port Elizabeth, the Eastern Cape, right? To go and officiate a wedding over there. And I'm assuming it had to be a same sex wedding. And the Imam got unalived there. For me, that just shows that the people in the Eastern Cape, I either the people in the Eastern Cape or that person that either committed the murder or the person or the people that sanctioned the murder did not want the influence of homosexuality to spread to the Eastern Cape among the Muslim faith. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong, but hey, that's the way. For now, that's the way I see it. Everything's still too early to try and figure out, right? We'll get to hear the truth once everything comes out. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Was the Imam wrong? Was the Imam right? All I know is that the murder, the killing of the Imam was unjust. There's no way of justifying the murder, the killing of the Imam. Even if you didn't agree with the Imam's principles and the way he went about it, you could have so many other platforms, so many other ways that one could have went about it to express their anger, their disbelief, their discomfort, you know. But to take the man's life, knowing that the man's got children, that is just the ultimate sin, to be honest. You are not God. You cannot be going around taking the lives of people. Only God alone can do that, not you. Yeah, people, let me know what you think about this topic, right? And you know how we do, right? So next we get into the pros of Imam Hendrix's life and activism and his vision for the future, or what could have been his vision for the future. Hello. People, let us talk about the pros of Imam Hendrix's life mission, right? Number one, Imam Hendrix wanted to bring everyone and anyone together. Imam Hendrix did not discriminate against class, race, creed, religion, you name it. Imam Hendrix wanted to bring everyone together under one roof. That was Imam Hendrix, right? Number two, Imam Hendrix was a big advocate for the rainbow LGBTQI community, right? And he wanted everyone who's in that community to be free to express themselves in all the spaces and places that normal people, straight people, religious people, political people go and express themselves too. He didn't want his people of the alphabet to be excluded simply because of their preference and because of their identification to a certain sex. You know, I think that was very noble of Imam Hendrix to chart on that path. I mean, like I always say, it was a grand idea. It was a good idea. It was a brilliant idea. It was a groundbreaking idea. I mean, I've never seen a mosque where anyone can just walk into it. It doesn't matter what church you belong to, what denomination, what faith, which country, which race, which class, which hierarchy we belong to. It was just an open praying space. I've never seen that before. So that shocked us when it was opened as Muslims. We were just stunned. I mean, we just it was just shocking that people could actually be doing such a thing in Islam, It was just shocking. Groundbreaking, I must say, you know. Good or bad, still groundbreaking. No one had ever attempted to do that. Another positive about Imam Hendricks was he was brave enough to come out as a Muslim man because the Islamic faith, they stand on their principles. I mean, in the Islamic faith, you just cannot be as liberal as you think you want to be. Just doesn't happen. You'll have to be a rebel to do such things. You know what I mean? So for Imam Hendricks to come out and profess and proclaim his gayness, his homosexuality, that in itself is just wow. As a Muslim man, wow, man. You can just imagine the frowns, just the shining, just the negative impact, the negative messages, the words, just the scoffing from other Muslims because it's heavily frowned upon. Yeah, man. Those are the pros that I can think of the late Imam Hendricks. Yeah, man. Next, we get into the cons. You know how we do. Holler. Phew, man. People. Now we get into the cons of Imam Hendricks' life's work, right? Number one. The only real big con that I can think of was Imam Hendricks' association to Islam. That for me is ultimately the biggest con to all of this, right? Like I said previously, I feel like Imam Hendricks, in all his good intentions, trying to bring everybody, Muslims, non-Muslims, even if Imam Hendricks meant to encourage gay, homosexual Muslims to come out and embrace their sexuality while still in the Islamic faith, I think was a very, very tall order. And I think that was a very, very unfortunate thing to try and do because I feel like by doing that, Imam Hendricks was trying to break, well, not trying, but he actually broke ranks within the faith. Because if you feel like your faith does not allow you to be you, by all means, leave that faith. Go be you in another faith that will accept you as you are. That's the coin. So for Imam Hendricks to bring Islam, I would say to bring Islam into disrepute because I would feel that Imam Hendricks was now influenced by the West and by these liberal churches that openly endorse something that they never clearly endorsed before. But now all of a sudden it's like they're rewriting the rule book and doing that. I feel was a very, very bad thing and unfortunate thing for Imam Hendricks to do. So for me, that is the only con that I can think of Imam Hendricks. I just feel like Imam Hendricks could have lived his truth outside of Islam because Imam Hendricks knew very well that Islam does not condone homosexuality. And at some point, it's just unfortunate that in the Muslim faith, people catch up with you, whether you want to call them extremists or jihadists or just people indoctrinated with a strict ideology. Because if you go back into time, you'll remember, for those that actually way back in the 80s, early 90s, I think, there was a man called Salman Rushdie. Salman Rushdie. Salman Rushdie. Salman Rushdie. Don't say Rushdie. I think it's Rushdie. Salman Rushdie. He wrote a book called The Satanic Verses. And in there, he had criticized the Prophet. Countries, I'm not talking about individuals, I'm talking about countries had placed a, a bounty on his head. People were out to get him, that the British government had to protect him. That's how strong the faith is in Islam. So, certain things Islam does not tolerate. And even if the Muslim clerics do not put a fatwa, that's a bounty, the fatwa. If they don't put a fatwa, which is like a bounty, a fatwa on your head, some individual, radical individual, some extremist individual or jihadist, or just some strong-willed Muslim with that conviction that you will not bring my religion into disrepute, will take the law into his own hands and deal with the matter. And that, by definition, is what we would call the Sharia law. Even though Sharia law does not permit that you as an individual just go out and carry out these individual attacks and stuff like that, right? So it's called a law. There's a process by which the law is carried out. You don't just go out and just do these extrajudicial murders like what happened. So that, unfortunately, is the sad case of Imam Hendricks. So, on that sad note, may Imam Hendricks soul rest in peace. May his family find solace that he lived in his truth and he did what he could within his rights and his bounds to do whatever he thought was right. He charted on a path that he built, that even his activism cannot be denied. He was a proudly, openly gay man. And condolences to the family for losing, I would think, a valuable individual, because at the end of the day, Imam Hendricks was an influential figure, you know what I mean? And whether or not people liked or appreciated his influence is another topic for another day. But on the sad note, man, I have to say that in the LGBTQI community, and even in the Muslim community, we have lost one influential individual. And that, I must say, that individual was a visionary and a revolutionary in his personal view of how he wanted to change what he wanted to change. Whether that change was going to be accepted in Islam later on down the road, in years to come, we would never know. But for now, Islam was not ready for what the Imam was ready to do. Sad, but yeah, that's how we have to end the video. Condolences to Imam Hendricks' family. May his soul rest in peace. People, let me know if I was on the money or if I totally missed it with this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hate speech is always welcome. Holla.